Hey guys, Knowles here. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys like the video intro that I got now because I really do. And I have to give mad props for Sevia, which is our tech guy, our video editing guildie, who's incredibly talented. And he's making all sorts of cool stuff for my YouTube channel and my streams. So thank you, Sevia, for this incredible amount of work that you've put in. If you like quirky ass, awesome, hilarious videos, you should totally check out his channel. He's posting both Neverwinter stuff and not, but you're guaranteed to crack a laugh because his videos are plain awesome. So, hey guys, I'm totally back. I know I've been kind of off the grid for a while. Not intended, just real life got me busy. Also been playing other games, and to be honest, Mod 10B, there's not much left for me to do. I already got most of the stuff, if not all of them, except for the boons. I'm not even gonna bother with those. They're just plain terrible. But yeah, not much for me to do. I'm kind of patiently waiting for Mod 11 with you guys. So, that's one thing, but I'm definitely here. Also, just to let you know, I did not forget about the Christmas giveaway that I promised. It's not going to be Christmas anymore, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm currently working on getting prizes for console players too. I've been trying to talk with a community manager, the new one, Julia, and she's going to try and help me to get codes for certain rewards I can give out to console players. In addition to the Legacy X-Beak that I'm going to give one lucky winner from PC. The X-Beak is sitting in my bank waiting for the new owner. The giveaway is going to happen. I'm just kind of waiting for a response from the community manager. It's just a matter of time. Once I have an update, I'll make sure to let you guys know how to qualify to get an entry for the giveaway, etc. So yeah, a giveaway is definitely going to happen. Also, before I start, this video is going to be strictly about my Mod 10B guide update that I just released in MMO Minds. ARC forums are currently not updated, but I will work on that. It just requires a little bit of formatting to do, and I really don't feel like doing that right now. But regardless, my guide is updated. Speaking of, a lot of people kind of PM me and going like, oh my god, you're Leah from YouTube. Yes, I am Leah from YouTube, but a lot of them apparently don't know that I'm also a guide author, and I have an actual guide about Great Weapon Fighter. Holy crap, I do. So just kinda to let you guys know, those set people who don't know I actually have a guide, the videos I'm posting are basically a side dish to my guide. My guide has the full detail of my build, how exactly I'm built, why, okay, all the numbers and explanations, and all the theory behind why I chose this specific setup for my tune is in the guide itself. The videos, I dish out a little bit more detail and kind of openly talk about my choices, but the videos are basically a side dish to the guide, and the guide is the main course. So you guys should totally, if you haven't read the guide already and you're interested in my build and you know, my theory behind it, please go check out the guide. You will not be disappointed. It's very detailed. It has all the information in it. So let us start with the Mod 10B changes. Honestly, there isn't much. I'm going to just elaborate on what upgraded for me, what I upgraded basically from Mod 10B. I'd start out with a Vivified Relic gear, right? 160 item level. Basically, it's the same old Relic gear that I farmed last mod, or rather Mod 10, which isn't really last mod because it's still the same mod, but upgraded. I already showed you guys in a previous video how to upgrade the Relic gear to Vivified. Thus, a lot of people who were kind of asking me about whether it's worth it to upgrade the regular Relic to Vivified or not, then yes, it is worth it, guys. It's really not that much work. If anything, it's not really, you don't really need to do anything at all. Basically, it's like 10k Vonin Blood per piece that you need to quote-unquote pay, including just pieces from Svarborg that you're doing weekly anyways, trying to get the relic weapons. So, I mean, you're already farming Svarborg, and you already have the Von and Blood, so it's not like you're putting extra work in order to get the Vivified Relic gear. It's not extra grind, and that's the problem with this mod to begin with. There's so much grind that anything that pretty much piles up on top of the already a lot of grind that we have is kind of people kind of back off and say, okay, I don't want to do it. But this is not the case. Vivified Relic gear does not require much work at all, if anything. So that's totally worth an upgrade. Not much of a stat change, to be honest. Quite moderate, but it doesn't require much effort at all, so why the hell not? So that's the Vivified Relic gear. I got a full set. Also, Svarborg was kind of terribly annoying for me to unlock. That's the reason the guide is updated that much. Like, it took me a while to update the guide due to that, because I unlocked Svarborg long after everybody else did to do this annoying task. Accidentally, one day I opened the campaign. I just click on the task like I do now, and the son of a bitch decided to just start the task and eat up all of my runic pieces that I saved to open Svarborg. So that kind of cost me like 2 weeks of farming. I don't know if this task is bugged or not. Maybe I was derpy and accidentally clicked the start, which I really don't think happened. But if this task is bugged, try not to click it. I don't want you guys to have to suffer like I did. So yeah, by the time I unlocked Svarborg, most of my friends were already done farming their relic weapons and got it to legendary. So I kind of had more difficulties finding groups. But eventually, as you can see right now, my weapons are full orange, upgraded, and legendary, because thank God I got my goddamn legendary marks, as you've seen in my past stream, and the only one I made so far, actually. There will be more streams in the future, by the way. I'm just having a little bit of problem with my internet, so once I sort this out, I'll be able to stream more, so you can definitely expect more of those. Now, the relic weapons, guys, those are basically a must to this mod. There's not even much to say about it. A lot of people were kind of, at the beginning, were debating whether they should even upgrade the weapons from Twisted. Soon enough, that kind of faded away when people realized the difference in weapon damage is so big, no matter what the set bonus is. Like, for an instance, if I took the relic weapons and I stripped off the bonus they have, the set bonus, you know how with the overcharge attack it gives you 10% more damage? Per se, I took this bonus off entirely. The weapons would still be a lot better than the twisted weapons, just because they have a lot more weapon damage. You guys need to understand weapon damage, as I said in my previous videos, is most likely, yeah, I can easily just say it's the most important component of your overall damage, no matter what. So just the increase alone in weapon damage makes the new relic weapons worth it. And the set bonus is quite nice, and I'll show you guys in a bit how we can, as Great Weapon Fighters, control the set bonus and control the results that we get quite easily, compared to other classes that might have more difficulties in that area. So, the relic weapons were a pain in the ass to upgrade. I totally do not envy anybody on console right now that is forced to basically farm these weapons post the key changes, and then you cannot peek in the chest before you claim it, which sucks horribly. I'm very sorry for you guys. I know what it feels to, because my last few marks I had to farm post the key change, hence I burned a lot of keys. But yeah, they're finally upgraded. I'm very happy with them. Now, I just want to address something real quick. There are a lot of questions lately popping on the forums and Reddit. I haven't been able to answer them as of yet, because this just in. Mod 11 weapons are not going to be best in slot. I know this was a worry that a lot of console players had, because they heard from PC that you know how we have preview, right? And they introduced new weapons in Mod 11, and everybody started fussing about how Mod 11 weapons are even better than the relic weapons. And this was a huge problem, because why would you make us go through all this farming if you're introducing better weapons 4 months later? Ridiculous, right? So the devs kind of commented on that and said, you know what, you're right, we did not intend for that to happen. They wanted the relic weapons to be best in slot for a little while longer. So what they did is that the Fire Soul weapons, basically the Fire Soul weapons, are the weapons in Mod 11 that were making the most impact, because they would be, if they release them as they are, that would be best in slot immediately for both GFs and GWFs, given how much power they can give you off your defense. And since GFs and GWFs stack the most defense at the moment, it could benefit us a lot. So the Fire Soul weapons got toned down significantly, to a point that honestly right now it feels a little bit useless. So that's both a good thing and a bad thing for those who did not farm the relic gear so far, the relic weapon so far. Due to that reason, I'm sorry to say, guys, but Mod 11 weapons are not going to be best in slot. Relic weapons are still going to rule that area for a while. So that's for the weapons. I want to show you guys a cool trick that some of you might have seen me implement before in my previous streams and videos. Basically, you know how in, like, for instance, Svartborg or Demon Gorgon or Tiamat, a lot of people just, it happens that you start the battle and you pop your Will of Elements, right? And somebody else steps on somebody else's Will of Elements and everything messes up, and you step on somebody else's wind buff or something like that, and it's really, really annoying. So as a GWF, so far we just used to avoid that by just sprinting forward, right? All we have to do is just sprint forward, avoid everybody else's wheel buffs, and just take ours and go ahead. But ever since the new relic weapons, there's also a problem, because every now and then, now that we sprint, we actually get the overcharged defense, which is something that we don't want to get. You know how the set bonus has overcharged defense or overcharged attack. If you sprint, you get the overcharged defense. If you use the encounter, any encounter, you get the overcharged attack, which is what we want. Given we're a DPS class, we want the 10% more damage. We want that. The 15% of your health crap is negligible. We don't need that, but we need that 10% damage. We want that. So what the hell are we gonna do? We're not gonna be careful all the time when we sprint, right? We want that wheel, that fire buff from the wheel. So I'm gonna show you guys a trick on how to begin battle, okay? That's gonna give you a good head start, okay? You should still be able to sprint afterwards, and basically it's an all-in-one package. You're both gonna get the right bonus, and you're gonna get the wheel buff that you want, and on top of that, you're gonna have more damage when you start attacking. So basically the trick is this: in order to activate the set bonus, we need to use an encounter, right? However, we have hidden daggers. Hidden daggers have 3 charges. That means that we can easily just spare off just 1 charge, right? With no problem. We still have 2 left, so whatever. They're gonna regenerate in 7 seconds anyways. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use hidden daggers, sprint in, and take the fire buff, and just go attack. As you can see, I already proc, the second I use hidden daggers, I already proc the attack overcharge, which means I can just freely, for the time being, sprint. It won't proc my defensive overcharge because the attack one already procced, and now we're kicked into ICD. So internal cooldown kicks in. We're gonna have a few more seconds before the overcharge is ready again, and we're gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna approach these giants. I'm gonna use hidden daggers first, and only then I'm going to sprint over to them because I can. Okay, now it's fairly simple. This giant is unresponsive for some reason. I'm just gonna kill it real quick. It's fairly simple, and it's a really cool trick that gives you a very good head start. Now, other classes might have difficulty in that area because they don't have powers with charges like we do. So hidden daggers is huge help here. And Yeah, that's pretty much it about the weapons themselves. Okay. As I said, I didn't bother with the last tier of boons. I just don't care for them. Um, but yeah, it's pretty much the same boon. With just it just gets better once you get the other tiers. Not something I'm really interested in. Also, given the key changes, I'd like to also elaborate on that. I also want to give my opinion about how it was done. The key changes were, in my opinion, premature. Even though like they announced it once, it was really badly received, and then they took the changes back. Now that's fine. Okay, that means they listened, they understood that this is a huge issue, and they can't just take it away from us that quickly, and just call peeking at in the chest a bug. So they kind of said, okay, we're gonna take a time off. We're gonna reevaluate the drops in the dungeons, and we're gonna come back to you guys with a more prepared change. Now I appreciated that because that means, to me at least, that meant that they're at least looking into it and they're reevaluating the situation and the drops from the dungeons that were just really not sufficient. So basically, what they did, they announced the changes, right? And it's a whole system of new stuff. And they pretty much said, we want feedback, give us feedback. And everybody started going on preview and farming dungeons and trying to figure out drop rates, what really dropped, what couldn't drop. So everybody were kind of really excited to give feedback about the matter, thinking, oh, we still have like 3-4 weeks until it goes to live because, you know, they need sufficient time to gather the feedback and listen to us. Granted, that is not what happened. What happened is that they asked for feedback and they pushed the changes regardless of any feedback that was given a week later anyways. So this is when I kind of thought, like, you know, this is a crappy move. I thought the changes were premature and were pushed to live prematurely. Albeit they had a reason. They said that they have to coordinate something with the console, with Microsoft and Sony. I don't know, some crap about how console needs to be synchronized, and they had to push the changes early, and they're sorry. That doesn't matter. It just kind of gave off a feeling that, you know, how a dictator, they tell the people that, you know, we're listening to you. We're gonna make a decision. We have two choices. I want to hear you out. And they make the people feel like they're being listened to. But in reality, that's not really the case. They're gonna do what they want eventually, but it's gonna give the people a good feeling regardless. They're not gonna know that they were never listened to, but they're gonna feel like, you know, I contributed. Eventually, my leader chose to go with another choice, but at least they listened to me. That's what it feels like to the players when Cryptic pulls moves like that, and it makes me sad, really. They have to use chip tricks like that in order to kind of trick us into thinking they're listening to us, and on the contrary, they just take the changes and shove them into live as soon as possible, regardless of what we say and regardless of the feedback that we give. So my feedback about the key changes is that they're ridiculous. Right now, to be honest, I know that a lot of people are happy with them. I'm not too upset about the changes themselves. It's just that, like, for instance, the Shard of Orcus, right? It's supposed to be, or until now, it only dropped from Castle Never, but not anymore. Now it drops from different ass dungeons like Shores of Turin or any other dungeon, really. You can drop, and it's supposed to be a dungeon specific drop, and it can drop everywhere. Then why the hell is this? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. Also, Zen Market stuff are dropping from chests. I don't know. I just don't understand what's the point of this at all. It makes no sense. It just feels like they shoved too many things into those chests, and as a result, the value of a lot of items just dropped significantly. Look at the goddamn artifact prices, right? You used to be able to make some profit out of those, but not anymore. That also kind of kills lockboxes drops. You know how lockboxes, they drop artifacts, artifact equipment, companions. All those companions, artifact equipments, and artifacts now drop like hotcakes from dungeons. Thus, the value of those items drops significantly. So my daily key isn't so great anymore, is it? I'm just, you know, I just think further than that, and this can potentially ruin the market for the long run. I don't know if you guys were here in Mod 5, but we had Tier 2 and Tier 1 dungeons. Tier 1 gear used to be, it used to sell for like 100k a piece, for example, for an armor piece. And then Tiamat came out, and Heralds came out, and you kill the dragon, the Tier 1 gear started dropping like hotcakes. Basically, the value dropped from 100k a piece, it dropped to 5k a piece. Thus, running Tier 1 dungeons wasn't profitable anymore, so nobody ran Tier 1 dungeons. They were just empty and deserted. So that's what they keep on doing. I don't understand that. Also, Svartborg, I'm so sorry for you guys for having to burn so many keys after the key changes. It makes no sense. I think that they could have taken more time. I think they need to reevaluate the drop rate of things, and overall, I think that dungeon-specific drops like Orcus Shard should stay in Castle Never and not move on to other dungeons, because otherwise it makes no sense to run CN as a whole. You can just run a simpler dungeon that takes less time, even though CN takes literally no time at this point, and just earn the same reward. So that's just my 2 cents about this matter. Again, it's not like they're doing something surprising. They keep pulling the same crap over and over again, and we're just, you know, we're eating it up because it's what they give us. So yeah, that's about the key changes. Also, the one last thing I wanted to talk about is mark stacking functionality. It's also mentioned in the guide, but I'll try to simplify it over here, even though it might sound a little bit complicated. You know how Daring Shout marks mobs, right? I use it and it leaves a red big mark on mobs. So, if you guys remember, in my guide, there was a section that said, don't be selfish, guys. If you're running with a Guardian Fighter and they're marking for you, don't just instantly switch to Battle Fury because somebody else is already marking for you and so you're basically toll free. Don't do that, because marks stack. Basically, if I use a mark and the Guardian Fighter uses a mark too, everybody gets more damage. So I'm not gonna get into the formulas and the numbers and all that because it's a little bit confusing. And to be honest, I don't even know how to begin with that in a video, so I'm not even going there. However, I will say that apparently I was wrong, okay? I joined the game in Mod 4, and back then I did a lot of testing because I was still a new player. I wanted to figure out how this game works, the mechanics of the game, and all that. So back then, marks actually did stack, so if I happened to be marking and the GF was around who was also marking, we used to give the party a lot more damage. Well, not a lot, but a significant percentage. And it's no longer the case. The mechanic just changed for some reason. I don't know when or how that happened, but that's definitely my bad if I misguided you guys. I didn't know that the mechanic changed, but due to recent findings by certain awesome foreign people that I credited on my guide as well, that's no longer the case. So what basically, if you guys are going like, oh my god, I have no idea what this chick is talking about, I'll try to simplify it. Basically, if and when there's a Guardian Fighter around in a group that you are in also, okay, and they are marking, you no longer need to mark, okay? You marking on top of their mark is redundant. It gives you nothing, okay? It gives nobody anything, to be honest, and you're better off using Battle Fury. Okay, so that also works for GWFs, okay? If there's another GWF in the party, it's only sufficient for one of them to mark. You don't need both of them to mark. So I do still recommend that in thrash phases, like when you're killing mobs, especially in dungeons like CN, there's so many mobs. And DS, Daring Shout, is only capable of marking 5 mobs. That's it, only 5. So I don't, like, especially if the GF is unwilling to use Enforced Threat, and Enforced Threat is just mass marking everything, I wouldn't rely on somebody else to mark for me. That's just my personal preference. I'd like to do that for myself. So in thrash phases, I honestly just recommend to still slaw daring shout. And in boss fights, you are free to change back to Battle Fury. Um, and as I said, don't forget, this only applies when somebody else in the party is marking for you. Please don't do stupid stuff and go in a party in which you're the only marker and still use Battle Fury. You're gonna lose a lot of damage, and you're actually costing the party some damage too. So that's about it, guys. That's my overview about my 10B update guide. The build is still the same, the boons are still the same, nothing actually changed. A little bit of my companion gear, but nothing much. I added a picture too for my companion stats because I got a lot of questions about that. There are multiple more things in the guide itself, but I don't want to make this video long, so I'm not gonna keep talking about it. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe and leave comments. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And also, if you'd like me to talk about anything specific in my next video, and by the way, my next video is going to be all about Mod 11. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of Mod 11 of the new dungeon, which is basically not new, just the beloved old dungeon, Spell Plague Caverns, coming back. I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek of that, the new skirmish, the new companion gear, the new area, and all that in my next video. So if there's anything in my next video that you'd like to talk about, you'd like me to talk about rather, let me know in the comments. I'd gladly consider it, and yeah, if it fits, absolutely, I'll talk about it. So thank you guys again for watching. May the force be with you and continue being awesome.